I was born in Lebanon, and when I was about 11, 12, we left because of the war. We actually left overnight to Cyprus, stayed some time there till we immigrated to Canada, to Montreal. And then I lived there for about 10 years. So I went to middle school, high school, and first year college in Montreal. And then when I was 20, I met a guy who was visiting in Montreal. And then we got married, and then I moved here. When my son was born, I struggled a lot because he was born with a lot of complications and I couldn't understand what was going on. All the medical terms I couldn't understand. I wasn't good to comprehend how to research. I felt very, very ignorant. So I'm like, the minute he got better, I'm like, I'm going back to school. I want to learn how to read, write, to be a better example. That was really what started my inspiration to go back to school. So my husband took me to different schools. And I just like Housatonic I have a lot of anxiety, so I think seeing Housatonic being a small environment, I just felt very comfortable. And I just took the first class, and it was computer science, and I got an A, and I could not believe it because I didn't speak English well. So it was like, wow, I was able to understand what the teacher was saying and get an A. It was like, wow. That's great. It was, wonderful, and I felt I learned a lot. So I decided to enroll in a degree. It was business administration. And I was super lucky to have an unbelievable set of teachers, including my mentor, till this day I love him, Mr. Michael Mendel. He continuously was my mentor throughout. I needed a lot of support at that time because I was probably the oldest at the college, or one of the oldest people. I had an unbelievable advisor, she's a very dear friend of mine, Susan Rutanavong at that time. So she was my advisor, she guided me a lot. So I had a lot of support. They were very, very close the whole time to make sure I'm doing well, So then at the end of my second year, when I was about to graduate, Mr. Mendel was like, so what are you gonna do with that? I said, well, I don't know, I'm gonna get a job, take care of my son. He was like, no, you're going for a bachelor's, Mona. And I'm like, I don't know, it's hard, and where am I getting, nobody's gonna, I'm not gonna get into a good college. He was like, oh, you're gonna get into a good college, and you're gonna where do you wanna go? I said, well, I would like to go to UConn. He was like, well, we're gonna make sure you get into UConn, So he connected me with few people. The application process was flawless. I mean, I didn't even have to do anything. They really did the paperwork for me. It was very easy through UConn, and it was guaranteed acceptance because I had over 3.0. And so I got into UConn. Sure. So the base again was done at HCC because for 7 years I tutored, I taught, I learned how to create lesson plans, create programs. I was given an unlimited, like a limitless amount of opportunities to create many things, including tracking, training students, tutoring and creating programs, and help with retentions, help doing prevention programs, whether Gear Up or Bridges program, which you do intervention programs and recognize students with their challenges. All of that helped me just have experience to deal with kids and have patience and not give up, and give them different resources and different exposure to different books and online services and tracking, and just an incredible amount of resources. The first day I was very, very nervous because the very first day I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew that I have like a good service, I have a good model, and I have a lot to offer, and I have a good community, and I know a lot of them knew what I did. But at the same time, I studied in business that 90% of the businesses fail, because I had everything I had on the line, everything I've owned was in that little startup. I was a nervous wreck. So within the first week, when I saw a lineup, people knew about that I actually moved here and I opened my own place here. I could not stop crying. I would go to the back in the kitchen, and I could not work because I was so overwhelmed by the support of the people of Stanford. And we have a great energy, you know. So we open at 2:30, and it's like fully packed. We service about 100 students a day, and it's just unbelievably, you know, very nice to see. I just did it. You just have to do it. Once you start, you become excited. Once you register, you're gonna be a little bit nervous, but then you're gonna feel that this is the right thing. And then after, I would say, the first or second class, you wouldn't want to stop. I still talk to students to go back to school. You know, they have to start somewhere. Housatonic is an unbelievable place to start. The teachers specifically are unbelievable. I cannot say enough about them. The environment is incredible. The tuition is affordable. And you make friends. I've made a lot of friends. I'm still friends with people who I've met in 2004. So, I mean, all around, it can't get any better than that. It's truly an unbelievable, it's one of the best decisions, if not the best decision I've done in my life, to go back. It's my dream to always have a degree, and it truly started at Housatonic, and it happened. So I'm forever grateful. That's why I worked there for 7 years, truly, and I was so dedicated because I felt I had to pay it forward.